Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Got a couple topics to share with you in this latest room temperature jam. XRP is being positioned as a bridge currency to fix the train wreck that is the world of cross-border payments. In fact, before Ripple came along and started innovating, you had somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 years of Swift dominating cross-border payments, and it was slow, it's costly, it's error-prone. And there was no innovation until Ripple came along. That's part of the legacy financial system. Legacy finance, not exactly that hot. But look, this isn't the only area where banks and the legacy financial system are an absolute mess. As much as it's frequently touted by crypto haters that our industry brings systemic risks to banks and the financial industry, it's actually exactly the opposite. Crypto helps the finance industry, and the finance industry brings systemic risks to the crypto industry. And I've got a story from Forecast highlighting just that, titled "Banks Are Bringing Systemic Risks to Crypto," says Circle's Dispart. That's his last name. I don't know how to say it. It might be Disparte. Maybe it sounds all fancy. Disparte. Maybe it's I don't know. You guys tell me. And then there's also this headline from the Crypto Basic. Former Ripple advisor, that's definitely not a word, former Ripple advisor Michael Barr to lead review of SVB supervisions. That's, of course, that's Silicon Valley Bank, which has collapsed. But before going further, do you want to be clear? I do not have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. I actually came across this article from Forecast thanks to attorney John Deaton, and he shared a quote from it. "Banks are bringing systemic risks to crypto." That caught my attention because I was like, yup. I know it's being painted as exactly the inverse of that, but that is not true. It's just a false narrative from some people, especially, you see in Congress all the time, Elizabeth Warren, you see crap like this from Gary Gensler. But anyway, it says, piece reads as follows. Dante Dispart, the chief strategy officer and head of global policy at Circle Internet Financial, discussed the systemic risks that the traditional banking system poses to the cryptocurrency industry in an interview for an upcoming Word on the Block episode. Circle is the issuer of USDC, the second largest stablecoin by market capitalization. Dispart highlighted the issues faced by crypto companies due to the lack of confidence in banks, noting that the shutdown of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, two major lenders to the crypto industry, demonstrates the risks that traditional financial institutions pose to the crypto ecosystem. You don't hear that anywhere else, but it's the damn truth. Because people that only read mainstream media who aren't in crypto, why would they know anything else? And they see these ideas bandied about how, oh, look at crypto and it's harming the finance. No, it's not true. And so here's a quote from Dispart. He says, "The bank failures in the United States have demonstrated that banks themselves are introducing risk to crypto assets versus the inherent direction of travel of risk that a lot of the regulators were concerned about, is that crypto would introduce risk to banking," end quote. Yeah, so there are a couple ways that you can look at this. Now, certainly, and I think this is unquestionably true, in terms of directionally where the price of crypto goes, it's dependent upon what the Fed is doing. Crypto's responding to the Fed. The Fed is not so as much responding to crypto. It's crypto responding to Fed activities in terms of interest rate increases because crypto is just treated as a risk on asset. Then you can think about from the position of Circle, which he's with, what happened when the other day when Silicon Valley Bank collapsed on Friday, second largest banking collapse in United States history. Circle's USDC coin, the stable coin, plummeted. It depegged, got down to the lowest that I'm aware of anyway, was 87 cents. And why did that happen? Because Circle had money in the legacy financial system, which failed. Because we have fractional reserve banking system, and money wasn't there, so there's a run on the bank. And Circle had some of their money in Silicon Valley Bank, and so that harmed the crypto ecosystem, caused panic in the crypto ecosystem. Not the other way around. They, being legacy finance, are harming our world. It's not the other way around. And so it was just a pleasure to actually come across this here. And there are tons of ways that you can break this down, and these are just a couple examples here, but it's unquestionably the case. And then in the meantime, you have the government just printing the dollar into oblivion. And this was kind of funny. So there's Patrick Bet-David, who shared this clip from 60 Minutes. And here's the quote: "There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve." You gotta love that. And then Patrick Bet-David says, "How? That's the president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, Neil Kashkari, saying this in March of 2020. So obviously that was during the pandemic, and he's trying to soothe people's souls, saying, hey, we've got infinite money. Now, how might that be? And so Attorney John Deaton retweeted that, and he had kind of a comical yet very true reaction to this, and he wrote, wow. In the past, they would be more cautious making a statement like this. But today, they don't even try and hide it. He was one step away from saying, look, dude, we have this printer machine in the back room, and it's amazing. We hit a button, and money magically appears." And that's about right. That's basically what's happening, just printing money into existence, which is, it's basically taxation. It results, it has the same end result as taxation. Creating more, because it's decreasing the purchasing power. They could either take your money or they can decrease your purchasing power. It's the same end result, effectively. So there's that. Completely ridiculous. And then there's also this from the Crypto Basic: former Ripple advisor Michael Barr to lead review of SVB supervision. And so Michael Barr, he did join Ripple Labs on their advisory board back in July of 2015. That's him on the screen right there. He's no longer with Ripple, and there's no word as to why. But I just found this kind of fascinating, especially in light of what's been happening. By the way, of course, in case you hadn't heard yet, Ripple actually does have money at Silicon Valley Bank, and so I'm sure that they're breathing a sigh of relief, as are all depositors, knowing that the government came in to, protect depositors. They're not protecting the bank. There's no bailout for the bank. The bank's gone, but they are protecting depositors here. The piece reads as follows: the Federal Reserve Board has confirmed that Vice Chair for Supervision Michael S. Barr will lead a review into the supervision and regulation of the failed Silicon Valley Bank. The Fed made this known in a press release on Monday, disclosing that it would release the findings of this review by May 1st. Notably, Barr joined Ripple as an advisor in 2015. However, he is no longer listed as a Ripple advisor, and it is unclear when he left the role. Before this, Barr played a critical role in the Obama administration's Treasury Department as one of the key architects of the Dodd-Frank Act, which prevented banks from trading customer deposits. Nominated by President Joe Biden, he assumed the role of Vice Chair of Supervision in July 2022. It is one of the most important roles in United States finance regulation. So let's break this down a little bit further, because there's some shady stuff going down. And there's this article from CNBC. SEC and Justice Department are investigating SVB's collapse, including insider stock sales. And I'll say this: I don't know if these people are actually guilty of insider stock sales, but I will tell you on the surface, it appears that way. And if it is indeed the case, I always wonder when I see this stuff, it's like, how the hell do you think you're actually going to get away with this? I understand it's millions of dollars, but you can go to jail. I don't understand that. I cannot relate to the mindset of some of these people. They're just like, well, this is clearly going to go down in flames, so I'm just going to, give myself a little golden parachute here and sell it. Like, that's literally illegal. It's because you have insider information. Like, that's literally illegal. And so I don't know for sure if it's true to just be technically accurate here, but I'm just saying at a minimum, the optics don't look good, and I would be surprised if there wasn't something illegal done here. But check this out. The Securities and Exchange Commission and the Justice Department are investigating how Silicon Valley Bank became the second largest bank failure in U.S. history, NBC reported on Tuesday. The probes, which are separate and in preliminary phases, include looking into stock sales that SVB executives conducted ahead of the tech-focused bank's collapse, according to people familiar with the matter. The Northern District of California has the lead on the Justice Department's investigation, the people said. The demise of Silicon Valley Bank, as well as crypto-focused Signature Bank over the past few days, prompted extraordinary rescue action from regulators and caused a financial shock that rocked markets, especially shares of regional banks. In addition to backstopping the deposits at SVB and Signature Bank, federal regulators also announced an additional funding facility for troubled banks. The Wall Street Journal first reported on the news Tuesday. That report cited people familiar with the matter who said the investigations were still at an early stage and may not lead to any charges. Check this out, and this is where it gets interesting. And fine, if no charges come, that's fine, which is why I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself here. But the optics unquestionably are horrendous right now. And the timing of this happened to sell right before your bank ceases to exist. Because what reasons? You tell me. Anyway, so Daniel Beck, CFO of SVB, sold 2,000 shares of SVB Financial on February 27th, the same day that CEO Gregory Becker exercised options on 12,451 shares and sold them. Regulatory filings showed. The sales were done under pre-scheduled insider trading arrangements called 10b5-1 plans. The Wall Street Journal said Beck and Becker did not return calls for comment. And so it's to the tune of millions of dollars. If there's nothing there, okay. Which is why I'm trying to be as fair as I can here, but... And I am. I think I am. I'm saying exactly what I think and what I mean. So I'm not going to crucify them now yet because I'm a dude that would like to have sufficient information before going quite that far. But I feel very comfortable stating at the minimum, this is bad. The optics look bad. That I know for sure. That's obvious to anybody with half a brain here. So is it the case that, they saw that the ship is going down and wanted to get a little something before it went to zero? Don't know for sure. It's just coincidental timing? Coincidental timing? Maybe. Weird how that works though, right? Funny how that tends to work in situations like this. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon family sedan.